She texted, "I'm pregnant and keeping it, but I don't want you involved." I replied, "Understood." Then I sent her mom the DNA test from 2 years ago. Her mom was at my door with her sobbing daughter in 20 minutes. I was 29, sitting at my desk finishing invoices when a text came in at 3:22 p.m. on a Thursday. It was from Brianna, 27, my ex. We had dated for 3 years before breaking up 8 months ago. "Hey, I need to tell you something. I'm pregnant. It's yours, but I don't want you involved at all. No support, no visits, nothing. I'm doing this alone. Just thought you should know." I stared at the message for a full minute, then replied, "Understood." 3 dots appeared immediately, disappeared, then came back. "That's it? Just understood?" "Yep." "Wow. Shows what kind of person you are. Don't contact me again." I set my phone down, opened my filing cabinet, and pulled out a folder labeled Important Docs. Inside was a DNA test report from exactly 2 years and 3 months ago, the same test that had shattered my ability to fully trust Brianna, even though I tried to make things work for another year after that. Back then, Brianna had a pregnancy scare. She was convinced she was pregnant and turned it into a whole ordeal. We were picking baby names, converting the spare room into a nursery. Then one day, she came home crying, saying she'd lost it. But something felt off. The timeline didn't add up. Her story kept shifting slightly. When I suggested we go to the doctor together to make sure she was okay, she blew up, accused me of not trusting her. Still, I couldn't ignore my gut. So I did something that probably makes me look like an A. I took a strand of her hair from her brush and had it tested against genetic material from the miscarriage, something I'd kept from a tissue she had thrown away. The results? No genetic match. The tissue wasn't even human. My best guess? Chicken liver or something similar. I never confronted her. Instead, I slowly pulled back emotionally. Eventually, we broke up over compatibility issues. She never knew I knew. And now, here she was, trying again. I took a photo of the DNA test results, scrolled through my contacts, and found her mom Diane's number. Diane and I had always gotten along well. She used to joke that she liked me better than her own daughter. I typed out a message. "Hi, Diane. Sorry to bother you, but Brianna just told me she's pregnant and doesn't want any involvement from me. I wanted you to have this information from 2 years ago before any decisions are made. I never told anyone, but given the situation, I think you should know." I attached the results and hit send. Within 30 seconds, my phone blew up. "What the hell is this? Are you saying what I think you're saying? Stay where you are. We're coming over." 22 minutes later, there was pounding at my door. I opened it to find Diane furious, dragging Brianna behind her. Brianna's face was red and swollen from crying. "Inside, now," Diane ordered. They sat on my couch while Diane sat. She practically threw Brianna onto it. "Show me everything," Diane said. I pulled out the folder, the original test results, the timeline documentation, everything. Diane's face grew redder with each page. "You faked a pregnancy?" she hissed at Brianna. "You faked a miscarriage?" Brianna sobbed. "It's not like that. I thought I might be pregnant, and then I wasn't sure, and Jake was being so sweet, and I didn't want to disappoint him. So you bought animal organs and pretended to miscarry?" I asked calmly. The room went silent. "How did you?" Brianna started. "DNA test? It wasn't human tissue." Diane stood up slowly. "And now this pregnancy?" Brianna stared at the floor. "Answer me? I am pregnant." "But what? It's not his." The room went so quiet you could hear the neighbor's TV through the wall. "Whose is it?" Diane asked, her voice deadly calm. "Trevor's. Your married co-worker Trevor? The one with 2 kids?" Silence. "You're trying to baby trap Jake because Trevor won't leave his wife," Diane said. It wasn't a question. Brianna broke down, sobbing uncontrollably. "You don't understand. Trevor said he loved me. He said he was getting divorced, but then his wife got pregnant again, and he said he couldn't leave now. And I'm already 2 months along. What am I supposed to do?" I leaned back in my chair. "So your solution was to pretend it was mine and say you didn't want my involvement, thinking I'd fight for parental rights and support you anyway?" She looked up at me, tears streaming down her face, two were always so good to me, so responsible. I knew you'd step up, even if I said I didn't want you to. You'd never let a child of yours go without. Except it's not my child. You wouldn't have known that. Diane's hand moved so fast I barely saw the slap coming. The crack echoed through my apartment. You disgust me, Diane said. Using this man's goodness against him after everything he did for you. He paid for your coding boot camp. He supported you while you were figuring yourself out. He treated you like a queen, and this is how you repay him. Update 1. Holy crap. You guys were right, this was just the beginning of the crazy. After Diane literally dragged Brianna out of my apartment, grabbing her by the ear like she was 5, I thought that was the end of it. Nope. The next morning, I woke up to 6-7 Instagram notifications. Brianna had posted a long story about how I was a deadbeat dad abandoning her in her time of need. She actually wrote, and I quote, "Some men will sweet-talk you for years, then run the second there are real consequences. Ladies, this is why we choose better. Number Singlem's Ruck, number Deadbeat Dad, number Wasson Treddy." The comments were insane. Her friends were calling me every name imaginable. Some said they always knew I was trash. One girl, Kelsey, wrote an entire paragraph about how men like me should be chemically castrated. But here's the thing. Diane has Instagram too. She commented, "Interesting fiction, sweetie. Should I post the DNA test showing you faked pregnancy 2 years ago? Or should I mention that you admitted the baby is actually your married coworker's? Not everyone. My daughter is a liar and a homewrecker. Jake is the victim here." The comment section went nuclear. Within an hour, Brianna had deleted everything but screenshots live forever, and I made sure to save them all. Then came a message from Trevor's wife, Eliza. "Is this true? Is Brianna pregnant with my husband's baby?" I sent her screenshots of everything, including Brianna's confession in my apartment. "Yeah, I recorded it. One-party consent state." 20 minutes later, Eliza posted the screenshots on her Facebook with the caption, "So this is the workplace friend Trevor said I was paranoid about. Currently pregnant with my husband's baby while trying to trick her ex into raising it. Some women really have no shame. Brianna Martinez, this is your public service announcement." She tagged Brianna. She tagged Trevor. She tagged their workplace. But wait, it gets better. Trevor showed up at my apartment that night. This idiot actually had the audacity to be mad at me. "You couldn't just leave it alone," he shouted as soon as I opened the door. "Excuse me, she wasn't asking you for anything. She said she didn't want you involved. You could have just walked away. But no, you had to play detective and ruin everything." I laughed. Actually laughed in his face. "Ruin what exactly? Your affair? Your marriage? Your lies? You don't understand. Eliza is taking everything, the house, the kids, everything. And now Brianna won't even talk to me. She says this is all my fault for not leaving Eliza sooner." "Sounds like a you problem, Trevor. I could make this a you problem real quick." He stepped forward, trying to look intimidating. "Trevor, you're 5'8" with the muscle mass of a string bean. Also, my doorbell camera is recording this. Please go ahead and assault me on camera. I'm sure that'll help your custody case." He deflated instantly. "She told me she was on birth control," he said weakly. "She told me she had a miscarriage that turned out to be chicken liver. Welcome to the club." He stared at me. "What?" I showed him the test results. His face went white. "Oh my God. Oh my God. What have I done? I destroyed my family for a psychopath." Yep, he actually started crying. This grown man stood in my doorway, sobbing about how his life was over. Part of me felt bad for him. The other part remembered he was a married man with kids who chose to raw dog his coworker, play stupid games, and all that. Update 2. Remember how I said Brianna's mom, Diane, was on my side? Well, apparently that caused a massive family rift. Brianna's dad, Harold, decided I was the villain in all of this. According to him, I humiliated his little girl, aired private family matters, and was probably the reason she felt the need to lie in the first place. The guy actually called me and tried to threaten legal action for defamation. Harold, truth is an absolute defense against defamation. You're saying my daughter is a liar? No, I'm saying she lied. There's a difference. One is a character judgment. The other is a statement of fact backed by DNA evidence. You had no right to share that with Diane. Your adult daughter tried to commit fraud. Her mother deserved to know. He hung up on me. Then the extended family got involved. Brianna's aunt, Rosa Diane's sister, posted on Facebook about how certain people need to mind their own business and that family matters should stay within the family. Diane responded, "Family matters? My daughter tried to defraud an innocent man into raising another man's child. That's a crime, Rosa." Diane, she made a mistake. She's pregnant and scared. She's pregnant because she was sleeping with a married father of two. She's scared because she got caught. Stop enabling her. The Facebook argument went on for hours. Cousins took sides. Grandma Ethel chimed in with, "In my day, this would have been handled quietly," which sparked a full generational debate. Then Brianna made her next move. She showed up at my workplace. I work at a small marketing firm, maybe 20 employees. Everyone knows everyone. And there she was, visibly pregnant, now something she'd been hiding before, crying at the reception desk. "Please, I just need to talk to Jake. He won't answer my calls. It's about our baby." "Our baby?" The receptionist, Grace, called me down. I brought my manager, Carl, with me as a witness. "Brianna, you need to leave. Jake, please. I'm sorry. Okay? I'm sorry for everything, but this baby needs a father. Then tell Trevor to step up." "He won't. His wife is divorcing him, and he says the baby isn't his problem, it's mine. You're a good man. You could be a wonderful father. Biology doesn't matter." Carl stepped in. "Ma'am, you need to leave or we're calling security." "I'm pregnant," she wailed. "With someone else's baby," I said loudly enough for everyone to hear. "You already admitted it wasn't mine. This is harassment." She turned to the grown crowd of my coworkers. "He's abandoning me. I made one mistake, and he's throwing away 3 years." I pulled out my phone and played the recording of her admitting Trevor was the father. The entire office heard it. Brianna's expression shifted from fake sadness to genuine horror. "You recorded me. One-party consent state. Now leave before I file a restraining order." She left, but not before screaming that I was a sociopathic monster who had destroyed her life. Grace looked at me after she was gone. "Dude, your ex is insane." Update 3. The extinction burst. No, that's too cliché. Let's call it what it was, Brianna's complete mental breakdown. After the office incident, I filed for a restraining order. The judge granted a temporary one immediately after hearing the recording and reviewing the evidence of her attempted fraud. That apparently triggered something in Brianna because she completely went off the rails. First, she tried to contact my mom. My mom. This woman called my sweet 62-year-old mother and told her she was carrying her grandchild. My mom, bless her, said, "Honey, Jake sent me the recording. I know that baby isn't his. But even if it was, after what you've done, I wouldn't want you in our family anyway. Please get help." Brianna's response? She told my mom I was gay and in denial, which is why I was rejecting her and the baby. My mom replied, "Even if he was, that would be fine. But he's not, considering he's been dating that lovely girl, Meredith, from his gym for the past month." Oh, yeah, I didn't mention that. I started seeing someone new. Nothing serious yet, but Meredith is great. She thinks this whole situation is insane and has been incredibly supportive. Anyway, after my mom shut her down, Brianna tried a new angle. She contacted my ex-girlfriend from college, Jessica. Jessica called me, laughing. "Yo, your crazy ex just DM'd me asking if you ever showed violent tendencies when we dated." I told her the only violence you ever showed was against pizza rolls at Tubuladorov. But here's where it gets even crazier. Harold, Brianna's dad, decided to take matters into his own hands. He showed up at my apartment with 2 of his brothers, Rick and Paul. 3 middle-aged men trying to intimidate me into doing the right thing. "You're going to marry my daughter," Harold said. I laughed. "No, I'm not. She's pregnant and alone. She's pregnant with Trevor's baby. Trevor's problem, not mine." Rick stepped forward. "You think you're tough, boy? I think I'm smart enough to have this conversation on my doorbell camera." I also think my neighbor's a cop who's probably home right now. Want me to call him? They left, but not before Harold said, "You'll regret this. The only thing I regret is not seeing who your daughter really was sooner." The next day, I got a call from my landlord. Harold had contacted him, claiming I was running a drug operation out of my apartment. My landlord, who I've known for 5 years, laughed it off and warned me about the accusation. Then they tried calling my workplace, claiming I'd been embezzling. My boss told them to provide proof or face legal action for false accusations. They hung up. But the peak of their desperation came 3 days ago. Brianna posted in a pregnancy support group on Facebook claiming she'd been abandoned by her baby's father and needed help. She managed to raise $1,400 before someone recognized her name from Eliza's viral post and exposed her in the comments. The group admin looked into it, uncovered the truth, banned her, and demanded she return the money or face fraud charges. Update 4. Court day arrived for the restraining order hearing. Brianna showed up in a maternity dress that made it look like she was about to give birth to triplets. She was only 3.5 months along. Her dad was there, along with a lawyer who looked like he got his degree from a cereal box. My lawyer, Janet, an absolute shark and worth every penny, had everything prepared. The fake pregnancy evidence from 2 years ago, the recordings, the screenshots, the workplace harassment, the false accusations to my landlord and employer, everything. Brianna's lawyer tried to argue that I had emotionally manipulated her into lying about the paternity. Janet replied, "How exactly does one emotionally manipulate someone into having sex with their married coworker? He was withholding affection. They had been broken up for 8 months when she got pregnant." The judge already looked exhausted. Then Brianna took the stand. She tried to cry but couldn't produce any tears. She kept touching her belly dramatically while talking about how devastated she was that I wouldn't step up for this innocent baby. "Ma'am, is this your child's biological father? Biology doesn't determine fatherhood. That's not what I asked. Is he the biological father?" A long pause. "No. Do you know who the biological father is?" "Yes." "And who is that?" "I don't see how that's relevant." The judge granted the restraining order for 2 years. Brianna screamed that I was ruining her life. Harold called me a coward. Security had to escort them out. But wait, there's more. Outside the courthouse, Trevor was waiting with divorce papers. He wanted Brianna to sign something stating she wouldn't pursue child support. The meltdown was incredible. Brianna started hitting him with her purse. Harold tried to grab Trevor. Trevor's lawyer recorded everything. Total chaos. Local news picked it up because someone filmed it. Domestic dispute at county courthouse leads to 3 arrests. Yeah, Harold, Brianna, and Rick, who had shown up for support, were all arrested for assault and disturbing the peace. Update 5. Brianna had to repay the $1,400 she fraudulently collected. She was also banned from multiple pregnancy support groups after her story spread across those communities. Trevor's divorce was finalized. Eliza took him to the cleaners. He's now living in a studio apartment, paying alimony and child support for his actual kids. He refuses to acknowledge Brianna's pregnancy. Brianna made one last desperate attempt. She went to a lawyer about suing me for emotional distress. The lawyer literally laughed her out of the office. I know, because his secretary is friends with Grace from my workplace. But here's the karma kicker. Remember how Brianna worked with Trevor? Their company had a strict fraternization policy. When their workplace affair came to light, thanks to Eliza tagging the company in her viral post, both Brianna and Trevor were fired. Brianna tried to claim pregnancy discrimination, but the company had documentation of her admitting to an affair with a married coworker for months. They also had evidence she used company computers to plan her fake pregnancy announcement to me. They pulled her search history. How to convince ex-boyfriend baby is his. And can you fake a DNA test were among the highlights. She's now unemployed, pregnant, living with her parents, and has a restraining order against her. Diane called me last week. "Jake, I'm sorry about everything. I'm getting Brianna into therapy, but I don't think she's taking responsibility yet. She still believes you ruined her life by not going along with her plan. I hope she gets help, Diane. I really do. You're a good man. Better than she deserved." Final update. Brianna had the baby a boy. Trevor signed away his parental rights before the child was even born. Brianna still tried to put my name on the birth certificate. The hospital called me because she listed me as the father. I sent them the restraining order and the court documents. They had to call security to remove her dad from the hospital when he caused a scene about them refusing to list me. From what I've heard, Brianna is still living with her parents. Harold and Diane are getting divorced. Apparently, this situation exposed a lot of underlying issues. Trevor moved to another state to start over. Eliza is dating a doctor she met at her gym and is living her best life. Rosa still posts passive-aggressive memes about family loyalty. As for me, Meredith and I are officially together. She's amazing funny, smart, honest. What a concept. She also has her life together. She jokes that she owes Brianna a thank you card for being so unhinged that I was single when we met. My company gave me a raise after all the drama. Carl said I handled everything professionally and that it showed character. I also moved into a better apartment in a building with actual security just in case Harold gets any more bright ideas. Janet, my lawyer, even sent me a Christmas card with a photo of my case file labeled Easiest Slam Dunk of 2024. The best part? A month ago, I ran into an old mutual friend who told me Brianna has been telling people that I'm the one who baby-trapped her and then abandoned her when she refused to marry me. Even her own mother doesn't believe that anymore. Some people have asked if I feel bad about how everything turned out. Honestly, no. I could have ignored her message and let her live in her lies. But she tried to trick me into raising another man's child. She faked a pregnancy and a miscarriage. She tried to destroy my reputation, my job, my relationships. She played stupid games. She won stupid prizes. The only people I feel bad for are that baby who's going to grow up with Brianna as a mother and Diane, who seems like a decent person stuck dealing with the chaos her daughter creates. But that's not my problem anymore. It never really was. To anyone dealing with something similar, document everything, trust your instincts, and never let someone manipulate you into taking responsibility for their choices. Peace out. P.S. Brianna, if you're reading this and I know someone will send it to you, your son deserves better than the chaos you're creating. Get help for his sake, if not your own. P.P.S. No, I'm not telling you where I got the DNA test done 2 years ago. Stop asking, Harold.